Hey, so I know this is kind of a weird video, kind of coming out of the blue, but I wanted to talk about it because I felt it was important to talk about. And I had some things I wanted to say, and honestly, like sometimes it's easier to type things out, sometimes it's easier to just talk, though, and I felt really kind of passionate about this, and I just wanted to talk. No, when I say passionate, I don't mean I'm not level headed. I am, but, yeah, honestly, I'm just really not happy about the situation. So, if you haven't heard of Formula Fanboy, he's a fairly well-known person over on Game Jolt, and he's recently been unverified. Uh, and get this: the reason he wasn't moderating enough in the Super Mario community. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, he made the Super Mario community. He's been around since before the community feature was even introduced. And he was there when it started, and he built the Super Mario community from the ground up. He made it, and he hadn't been as active recently, but he had other moderators, and he was making sure everything was taken care of. But he was taking a little break from moderating so much, and apparently that was a good enough reason to make him no longer the owner of the Super Mario community. I don't know why that was a good reason. It doesn't seem like a good reason to me. Now you might think, okay, well, maybe they went to him and asked him, like, hey, dude, we notice you're not really moderating this community much. Kind of a big deal. This is a big community. You're not really doing much in it. Do you want to maybe hand it over to someone else? But no, they just did it without asking and just emailed him, yeah, we're just kicking you off of this community now. Even though you built it from the ground up, we're just taking it from you. And also, the only reason you were verified was because you were the owner of this community, so we're taking that away from you too. Um, I don't know why that was a good reason, but it's like I do want to make this very clear. Just before we really get too much into things, I love Game Jolt. I absolutely love the platform. Most of the people on it, I really look up to and respect. And I'm gonna be a little harsh. I am, because I'm not happy with this situation. I don't think it's right. I think it's honestly, it's a bit of an injustice. It's not the biggest injustice there could be, but it's still not right. And I might I'm gonna lay on some accusations, and when I do lay on these accusations, I do want to be clear. There's a lot of people at Game Jolt, so this could just be one or two people, one or two bad apples that did this. Totally possible. If the accusations come up soon are going to be true. And that's assuming they are. And it very well might not be. This could just be a fluky thing. Maybe someone just wasn't really thinking. But this just doesn't seem like a very good reason to take away someone's ownership of a community. It just doesn't. Even like Super Mario community, it's a pretty big community, and it's Mario. I mean, it's a big deal, right? To have the Mario community in Game Jolt. And I guess if you don't really know what a community is, it's basically like a thing where people can make posts, and then those posts can get featured. And so if you're part of a community, when a post gets featured, it shows up in your feed as though just like all the stuff from people you've already follow. That's basically what you need to know about a community. It's not really that much, but it is a fun part of Game Jolt, and it's cool. It's there. And it's a nice place to collect things. I know, like my Alicia community, I use the art channel in the Alicia community to keep track of all the art I've posted a bit more easily. So you've got stuff like that. It's a great way to find new creators that you don't know about. Just generally, it's a nice thing to have, right? And so he owned it, and he built it from the ground up. He had like fun quizzes and all sorts of things, and he was even going to bring them back fairly soon. But well, now we can't, because he's been removed as owner of his community, even though he made it. And honestly, I don't think there's really any justifiable reason from that person. It doesn't seem like a very good reason. He wasn't asked or anything. It just up and happened. And it's not like he's completely inactive. It's not like he left for 5 months and disappeared completely into the void or has been hiding under a rock. He's been active on Game Jolt. Very active. He's there. He just hasn't been doing as much moderation work. That does not mean that he didn't choose the moderators who are currently handling the moderation work, it doesn't mean that he's completely forgotten about his community. He's still there. He's just not been quite as active on that community. And it's just, when you consider all that, it doesn't make any sense. Now, he has emailed Game Jolt to ask them to give him back ownership of the community, and I strongly encourage you to read his post. It's kind of long, very long, honestly. It even gives my posts a run for their money, which, if you've been around me on Game Jolt, you know that's saying something. I love to write paragraph essays about a one-sentence joke, because I just do be like that sometimes. But, so I strongly encourage you to read his post, and I will link that in the description of this video and in the article of the post on Game Jolt. Obviously, I'm going to repost this video to Game Jolt as well. But, really just, point is, it doesn't make sense that they would do this. Now, maybe someone just didn't really think that much, or didn't really know what they were doing. Who knows? Who knows what happened, okay? But there is something that I think is good to keep in mind. And I want to be very clear, when I do say this, I don't say it lightly. I don't like saying it. I don't even like thinking it. But this could be something kind of underhanded going on. And again, if there is something underhanded going on, it could just be one or two people. I don't want to pin this on like the entirety of Game Jolt, and I don't even want to pin this on Game Jolt at all. I don't want to assume, and I want to be very clear, when I do make this accusation, I don't want anyone going and saying, oh, this is definitely the case. No, it's not. It's possible, and I'm going to explain why I think it's possible once I explain what it is. But, I just wanted to say this first. Don't act like this is definitely the case, okay? I love Game Jolt. I trust Game Jolt. I want to trust Game Jolt. But I do have my suspicions, and I don't feel comfortable with this. I just honestly don't. But here's the thing. Formula Fanboy is very critical sometimes. He can be very critical, and when he is critical, he can be a bit harsh about it. If he thinks something is SH blank T, he will say it. So that's just how he is most of the time. And, it's like, I'm usually a little bit more of a softer person, but, I mean, I've been critical about some of the updates and changes that Game Jolt has made as well. And honestly, like, some of his complaints I do think have been a little petty or not really very significant or important. But at the end of the day, so what, big deal? Like, that's kind of the point. They're not really that important. It doesn't really matter. So what? He thinks the new For You system is kind of gimmicky. So what? Big deal. Who cares, right? But here's the thing. He's verified, or was, very recently. And so here you have a verified person. And since a person is verified, especially on a smaller site like Game Jolt, that gives them more credibility. So here you have someone who is verified, who has a lot of credibility, according to your own site, right? Making a lot of complaints about the website and being generally very critical. And the only reason, I want to be clear on this, the only reason he is critical is because he loves this site and wants it to be the best it can be. And you can like, just read his post. Like, seriously read his post. It's a good post. It's really well written. Just generally really good. He did a good job. So just go read the post if you haven't already read it. And like I said, I will link it in the description below. But, here you have someone who's verified, who's making a lot of complaints. That might not like you got someone who has credibility complaining a lot about your site. And I can see how someone, if they wanted to keep their image as good as possible, might not like that. And so, well, if he's not verified, then that takes away that extra credibility, and he's just another person on the site. So you can see how I do kind of wonder if maybe, like, again, just think about it. There would be a motive for doing something underhanded here, and the reason for why he was removed of ownership of his community just doesn't seem like a very good reason. Again, I don't want to think this way. I really don't. Okay. I hate that I do, but I do. I can't help but wonder and think, this is odd. It is. It just strikes me as really odd. And, something I've definitely learned um, as I've gotten older is to take everything with a grain of salt and be very careful not to put all your cards into someone or something, like, just to be, like, just not to be too trusting. Sometimes you gotta take things with a grain of salt and just kind of think, is this the whole story? You gotta learn to do that. And I do wonder, at the end of the day, would it really be enough of a deal for them to want to, do this to him? Maybe not. Probably not. I mean, at the end of the day, he's just one verified user of many verified users. So even then, it's really not that big of a deal. So maybe I'm overthinking things. But maybe I'm not. And again, like, this could just be one or two people who didn't like him, who happened to be Game Jolt staff, who decided to pull this on him. That's totally possible. Like I said, if this is something underhanded, or even if it's just a fluky thing, it's not all of Game Jolt moderation that is to blame. It's whoever happened to do it, which could just be a couple people. Like, plenty of people work at Game Jolt, right? So I'm not like, oh my gosh, Game Jolt is evil now. No, of course not. But I'm not going to defend this. This is wrong. I don't think it's right. I think he deserves to be owner of the community. And obviously, as an extension of that, deserves to be verified. I do. It's just that I don't think this is right. I don't think the reason for removing those things was valid. He was never consulted at all, apparently, in the decision, despite the fact that it's his community that he built from the ground up. Like, he built that community into what it is, and it's like, yeah, it's a Mario community, so it already, but it wasn't the only Mario community. It still isn't. A whole bunch of Mario communities showed up, but he made it fun and interesting, and he made it what it is. And there's a reason why that Mario community is verified and others aren't. And I think it's more than just dumb luck. So he deserves to own that community. And like, I stand by that. Okay, I'm not going to back away from that. Whatever reason it happened, he deserves to own it. End of story. That's all I'm going to say on that. But yeah, I guess that's most of what I have to say. But it's just, and I don't want to think this. I don't want to think those sorts of things, about, this being something underhanded, because honestly, Game Jolt to me has always been better than that. It's better than just being one of those things where, think about Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and all those. Like, at the end of the day, for those sites, it's just about profit and saving their image, which of course is just an avenue towards profit. To me, Game Jolt has always been about putting the user experience first. It's made by gamers for gamers. It started as a small little thing that they built up, and it's still owned by the people who originally made it. It should be better than this. And it very well might be. This could be a fluky thing. Or again, if it is even something underhanded, it could just be a couple people. It probably is. At least that's what I want to believe. But I don't know. It's just something seems off here, and I don't trust it. And again, maybe I'm overthinking. I am the kind of person who overthinks things a lot, but I don't know. Something just doesn't seem right here. And at the end of the day, whether this is something underhanded or not, I don't think it's right. Just plain, I don't think that was a valid reason to take away his ownership of a community that he made, that he's owned for a long time now. He didn't misuse his ownership of the community. He just apparently wasn't doing enough for it. I don't know. It's not like he has been hiding under a rock or disappeared for the last, you know, 5 months or even 3 weeks. He just hasn't been as active in that community by itself. But he's still here. You can still contact him if you want. And he has other people that he chose that are taking care of the moderation at the time. It's just like, come on. Like, it just doesn't seem like a very valid reason. It just doesn't. Yeah, I guess that's really all I have to say. I'm not happy with this. I'm honestly really pretty disappointed in Game Jolt right now. But I hope this gets rectified. I hope this gets fixed. Honestly, I hope that by the time this video is uploaded, it is completely redundant and pointless. Because it's already been put to right. But if it's not, then maybe this video will make a difference. Probably not. Probably hardly anyone will. Probably nobody's gonna watch it, or not a lot of people, honestly. Decent chance. But regardless, I wanted to say this just because I felt compelled to. I just wanted to talk about it, because I felt it was important. I had some stuff I wanted to say, and sometimes it's easier to just kind of talk it out this way. And so yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope this wasn't too much of a downer. I know it's kind of different than my quote-unquote regular content, despite the fact that my upload schedule is completely random. I just kind of make videos whenever I want to. I don't really take it too seriously, but yeah, I guess that's about it. I did think about doing some sort of hashtag or something that for this to get resolved, but I decided not to because I've made hashtags before and they just got misunderstood and just generally weren't really used properly. So I guess I would really just say maybe repost the video, repost Formula Fanboy's original post, and whatever. Don't be super harsh or make super harsh accusations, but just bring awareness to the issue and just say, if you agree, of course. For whatever reason you don't think that there's anything wrong with this, then obviously don't lie and pretend that you do. But if you do, which I feel like most people would, if you disagree, then just say it. Just link to the post and say, I don't think this is right. Just bring a little intention to the issue. Do so very respectfully. Don't be like, oh my gosh, Game Jolt, I hate you so much. But yeah, because like I said, even if this is something underhanded, like seriously, it's probably a couple people. It's probably not the entirety of Game Jolt. Like, just in all honesty, it probably isn't. But yeah, really just I guess just bring awareness to it, maybe. Like, again, like, this isn't the biggest thing in the world. At the end of the day, like, if you read his post, he's not happy with it, but I feel like he's somewhat at peace with it. Like, he's willing to accept it if this is how it's going to be. So, at the end of the day, like, there's plenty of issues more important. That's true. But just because there's more important issues doesn't mean that this isn't still an issue. And I think it's also a very personal one. And I feel like, there's something special in, these sorts of personal things with just sort of little personal injustices, just sort of people rallying together just to try to show somebody some support when they could use it. I think there's something special about that. And, I don't know. Maybe I'm not really, like, maybe hardly anyone will even see or hear what I have to say here. Maybe some people will, but regardless, like, just maybe try to spread some word, again, respectfully. And just try to show Formula Fanboy some support and just, I hope this gets resolved, and I wish him the best, and all of you the best, too. Hope you have a good night, and God bless you. Bye.